whenever we do interviews like this, I kind of like to paint a picture of maybe what an athlete has done and start back at the beginning, and then we'll get to where we are now. So speaking of back at the beginning, Ellsworth, Kansas. Let's talk about this guy right here. Little
Yep.
throwback photo.
Yep.
Uh, can you talk to me kind of about the recruiting process for you? I mean, it's small town Kansas, trying to get coaches to come look at you and watch tape. Just talk to me through that process for you.
The recruiting process was a grind, I'd say. A little bit of a struggle trying to find teams that would offer me scholarships. Um, I was a three-sport athlete in high school, played football, basketball, and track. Um, Ended up earning one scholarship to Butler Community College, and then a couple of track offers, but ultimately wanted to play football.
Okay. And what was kind of that feeling when Butler gave you kind of that offer to go play football? Once you kind of got in the news that other offers maybe weren't on the table quite yet.
Oh, it was a good feeling. I mean, I knew of Butler, living in Kansas and stuff like that, and just knowing the track record they had of putting guys to that next level of Division 1 was the goal coming out of high school. But um, felt like I'd have a good shot if I went to Butler to, achieve that goal. But ended up earning a scholarship to Northwest Missouri State. And looking back, I mean, it was a great journey through Butler.
Yeah, absolutely. And um, speaking of Northwest Missouri State, there you go. Look at that guy right there.
Yeah.
And you and I were actually at Northwest at the same time, so it's cool to kind of share this experience and talk to you about that. Kind of talk to me about your time at Northwest. What was some of the big moments that you remember from your time in Division 2?
Um, some of the big moments, I guess, was just playoff football, and then winning those conference championships. When I was leaving Butler, and I had a handful of offers to Division 2 schools. Northwest Missouri State, um, they got a strong winning culture over there. It doesn't just start with football; it's basketball as well. Um, they went to 10 national championships within like 20 years, won six of them. Felt like I was gonna have a good shot to win a natty if I went over there, and we came up short both years, but it was a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. And um, what was there any kind of like major goals that you set for yourself? I mean, obviously, when you were at Butler, you say that you had the goal to move up to that next level. D1 was always kind of the top notch that you want to get to. Was that kind of the same thing in Northwest?
Yeah, so like, I guess starting about in high school, I mean, I had the dream of playing in the NFL one day, and it wasn't a straight line path, but I felt like the opportunities I was given, as far as those scholarships to go to Butler and then Northwest, I mean, those were stepping stones to help get me to where I needed to be, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And was that just kind of a good stepping stone? You would say where you felt maybe you had a bit more footing after the D2 level when you declared for the draft. Did you feel like you were maybe in a better spot?
Playing at Butler, we had in the 2 years I was there, we probably had about 15 guys end up signing NFL contracts or getting drafted. Um, so I felt like both levels had very high competition, but they both prepared me well for the NFL level. Um, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And then you kind of move into that NFL era. So undrafted to the Denver Broncos in 2022. Uh, can you tell me what that phone call was like? I mean, obviously it might be a little bit different from being in a draft room or something like that, but you still get a phone call and you still get to go play NFL football. So what was that moment like for you?
Surreal. I mean, leading up to that third day of the draft, I mean, I was expecting a phone call for an undrafted contract. So, I mean, I would say it could have been unexpected from the time I left Northwest Missouri State, given the fact that I didn't have many accolades leaving school, but attending a college gridiron showcase to go against some higher level prospects, and then putting up good numbers at a pro day gave me a solid chance and got some buzz around my name. So, um, yeah, that phone call. I mean, getting it from got to hear from the head coach of the Denver Broncos at the time, Nathaniel Hackett. Pretty cool moment for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime we've talked to people on here like other Bearcats, I've talked to Trevor Hudgens for basketball. Same situation for him. He wasn't drafted on draft night, but he got a phone call later from the Rockets. So just kind of having that feeling of, well, maybe it wasn't exactly how you picture it in your head as a kid, but you get the phone call nonetheless. And then
Mhm.
Michigan Panthers in the USFL was kind of that next step for you. And what was that time like? I mean, this was a league that was very fluid and had a lot of moving parts from everything that we had seen. So, what was that time like with the Panthers?
The Michigan Panthers was a great opportunity for me just to get on the field and showcase some game time speed play. Um, my rookie year in Denver, I didn't get on the field a whole lot for that preseason. It's not how I thought I'd go. Ended up getting released after the first game and only probably played about 10 to 15 snaps. So wasn't really enough film to probably find a new home in the NFL. Landed back on their practice squad later in the year, but was knew I was going to need some more tape following that year, having not signed a futures contract with Denver. But getting on the field with Michigan was a great opportunity for sure.
And what's kind of the major difference that you saw, at least from Denver initially into that Michigan Panthers USFL kind of locker room, like that level? Was there any major differences?
I didn't see any like major differences. We had a lot of talented players on that Michigan Panthers team, and the other teams did as well. And a lot of those guys that play in that league had been on NFL teams prior to, or just didn't get that shot coming out of college, and that was their first opportunity to play professional football. So,
Okay. Yeah, and it feels like that level is very much like minor league baseball, where you're going to have a lot of guys that know what it takes to get to that level. So
mhm.
it's not necessarily a drop off, but kind of sticking at the same level, and then you just got to get your name out there. And then you get to the Cardinals. After that, they give you that phone call in the same year, pretty much right after your season ends with the USFL, if I had that correct, right?
Yep.
Okay, and how did that go? I mean, Arizona giving you that shot. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, they called me up for a tryout, and the tryout went well. They ended up signing me. And coming right off that USFL season, I mean, I was already in game mode, playing at game speed, so I feel like that was like the perfect opportunity to roll into training camp. I was healthy, so I felt like I was just playing a lot faster than I ever had before.
Okay, yeah, that is kind of an advantage, I guess, if you roll right in from one pro season into another.
Hmm.
And then 2024 was a very busy year for you, Detroit Lions, and then you were back with Denver by the end of the year. Um, what's the difference between like the Detroit kind of environment and maybe the Denver environment?
Um, I think at this level, I think you need like leadership probably is a little bit of difference. Not saying we didn't have leaders in Denver, but
Sure.
just leadership across the board, top down. You know what I mean? From management all the way to the players.
Okay. Um, what was one thing that was different about Detroit? Maybe because again, that was your second stint going into Denver. Did Detroit kind of prepare you for when you made that move back to Denver? Like, did you feel like you gained a little bit more to be ready for your next stint in Denver?
Yeah, I felt like through each season, uh, of my career. You know, you gain experience and knowledge, and it just allows you to play faster. Um, Detroit was a great spot. It's a lot of physicality over there, and I felt like that really toughened me up, I guess you could say,
Sure.
for
Yeah.
you know, just the way that training camp can go, because not everywhere is training camp going to be the same. You know, not all training camps are at the same speed or physicality, and Detroit's is definitely at the top of the list as far as practicing hard, fast, and physical.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure Dan Campbell doesn't make a practice very easy. You're probably sweating quite a bit by the end of a Dan Campbell practice, I imagine.
Hmm.
And then you end up in Cleveland here in this last year. They you got your active roster spot at the some point during the season. Um, but the big moment, at least from uh, what I got to watch out of Cleveland, you caught Shadur Sanders' first touchdown pass in the preseason. But that's also a big moment for you. What was that like?
You know, um, it was a great moment, but the amount of repetition that we took leading up to it, you know, and just like all the hard-earned like hours and stuff like that you put into the field is kind of like what you expect of yourself when you step on that field. Like you're gonna make plays, you're gonna score touchdowns, and I just feel like it's an expectation in my mind, and it's cool to see it come to fruition when you're out there, and you know you want that to happen every time you're out there. So it's a cool
Yeah,
moment.
absolutely. Yeah. It was there anything that you kind of gained from your time in Cleveland right now, like from the start of that stint to now? Is there anything that you've gained that has kind of prepped you now for what your next step might be?
Yeah, for sure. At the end of that 2024 season, when I was in Cleveland getting to play in that Ravens game, it was my second time getting to be suited up for a regular season game, and that was really my first real shot to get on the field and play. And I feel like it was no different than how I felt in the preseason. Like you just get out there and it's still football. You just play fast, and you know, you're gonna make plays. They're gonna make plays, but you just got to keep getting up and going.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been talking about all the destinations that you've had and some of the coaches. One of the questions I wanted to bring to you from our other guys at Stadium Rant. What's the best advice that you maybe gotten from any coach at any level, whether it's about football or a life lesson? What would you say is maybe the best advice that you've gotten?
Um, I guess I had two coaches in Cleveland, Bubba Ventrone and Chad O'Shea, and they were both in New England for a long time. Bubba had played in New England, and they really just always practice like or preach. Uh, you practice how you're gonna play. So you know, I think that can be taken into life as well. I mean, just being diligent about everything you do, and that's gonna lead to your success. So I feel like every time you step on that grass, like I wanted to practice my best because I knew I wanted to play my best once it was showtime. So
Yeah, well, absolutely. Um, is there maybe something that Kaden Davis now would say to Kaden Davis at Ellsworth High School, who is like, "Oh, I want offers from here. Here's where the route I'm taking." Is there anything that today Caden would tell Ellsworth High School Caden?
yeah, I tell myself the same thing. They kind of preached to me when I was at Butler. Um, Coach Bryce Veneri, he used to always say, trust the process. And he even gave out wristbands that said, trust the process while we were there. And, you know, it was hard for me to trust the process, I felt like at times, uh, given the up and downs throughout my career and stuff like that. I'm a bit of a journeyman at this point, having bounced around and stuff like that. And Just starting at pretty much the smallest level possible and making it to the biggest level possible. You just got to trust the process and know it's going to work out the way God wants it to. And that's all there is to it, I feel like.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And to close it out here, you just celebrated the birth of a child, so
Yeah,
congratulations on that. I
appreciate you.
mean, hey, that's what's more difficult, changing a poopy diaper or running an NFL route at this point, right?
I don't know. Probably that diaper if they're kicking and screaming.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, Caden, thank you so much for coming on the show today, and for taking the time to talk with us. And I know you're a busy guy. You got a lot of stuff coming up here, having the new baby and all that. So thank you for coming on the show today.
For sure, man. Happy to be on here.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck in your endeavors, and always keep in touch. And we always welcome you back on if you want to chat some more football here in
All
the
right.
future.
Sounds good, bro. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
For full episodes and other shows, visit Stadium Rant on YouTube.